West Ham United take the trip up to Molineux to take on Wolves in what is casted as a relegation six-pointer, as West Ham are coming off the back of a draw and a win in our last two games in all competitions. Of course, Wolves down there near the bottom of the table as well. So we're here to preview Wolves versus West Ham in the Premier League. Let's get on with the video. And joining me to discuss Saturday's game, firstly, Kieran. Kieran, how are you?
Sure.
Oh, you there, Kieran?
That's better. I can hear you now.
How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, good, bro. Really good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Mike is joining us as well. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Very good.
A sort of rarity, of course, for West Ham, a Saturday 3 o'clock game, which we don't get many of nowadays. So savour that if you wish. But of course, yeah, again, it's a massive game for West Ham, and it's a massive game for Moyes. In his quest to try and keep his job for as long as possible at the moment. Obviously, coming off the back, Mike, I'll start with you with a couple of positive results.
Undefeated in 2023, I think, at the moment.
Flying.
Yeah, no, a couple of positive results. I don't think we played brilliantly in the Brentford game, but we did enough to get the result, so that was good enough. I think there was improvements in the Leeds game. Certain players, Paqueta, started to stand up and show what he can really do. So there's improvements. So defensively as well. Yeah, in the Brentford game, obviously, we've been struggling there, haven't we? Defensively, we've made so many mistakes this season, but I think we've cut a few of them out in the last couple of games. So that's the positives.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, as Mike alluded to there, Kieran, unbeaten in 2023. Do you think that we might be starting some sort of a minor comeback?
No. Nah. And it might be 3 o'clock for you, right? But it's 1 in the morning for me, so it don't really
no.
Yeah. Right. No, I think I don't think against Brentford you could fault the Leeds game, the effort. There was a lot of effort in that. That wasn't a team that had given up or were moping about. There was a lot of effort. There weren't a great deal of quality. There was only flashes of it. There were flashes of quality from Paqueta and Skamaka. The decision by Moyes to play Kehrer at left back was amazingly bad. Really, really. I've never seen a West Ham players have a worse 45 minutes than that boy did that day. He just couldn't do anything right. And when you've got, you bought Emerson for 13 million, you've got young Johnson there, and you've got Cresswell, and he decides to put Kehrer in there. Now, if that had come off, brilliant, but it didn't. And and he stayed on for 90 minutes. Yeah. So this is the things that supporters are questioning about Moyes. These are your decisions, mate. Everyone can see how bad he is. The poor lad's suffering out there. He's playing so bad. He's not going to get any better. And so no. But the effort for Leeds was really good from all players. Soufal and it was really, really had a good hard game there. And the Brentford game, we played a second string Brentford team in the end of the day. Yeah. And we won it 1-0, which is a positive. It stops that, keep saying 6 losses on the trot and all that. It stops that. That's all that does for the moment.
Yeah.
But I think we've got a long way to go to improve massively. A long way.
It sort of stopped the rot, which was desperately needed there, and hopefully, coming up against a Wolves side that played just last night in the Carabao Cup and went out on penalties to Nottingham Forest. Hopefully we can pull something out out of the bag. I'm not sure what, but do you think sort of a Gerd being there is sort of stitched up and going to try and eradicate some of those errors there, Mike?
Yeah, a Gerd's one of the positives, isn't he? I mean, he's obviously. It was great for him to come back in the World Cup. He was outstanding for Morocco. I thought he was brilliant. You know, the lad's got pace. He can read the game. I think he likes to use the ball as well. So he's exactly what we want. But then he picked up another injury, which is typical bad West Ham luck. But he seems to be looking as though he's getting there. It's little shoots. What Kieran said, it's just little shoots at the moment. There's got to be a lot more improvement needed. We all know that. But he is another one of the positives in my mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Let's head into the chat and see who we've got. Terry, evening, Rich. And don't worry about me, Ter. Hope you're well, mate. Hope all is keeping well. Your end, John. Hope you are well. Sean says, cannot believe West Ham might consider letting any players join Wolves. We're going to talk about that very, very shortly. I can see you both looking at with a look of disgust on your face there. We're going to talk about that very, very shortly. Let's scroll down on some of these comments. John says, players are playing for the manager. He hasn't lost the dressing room. I mean, we all pretty much thought he did, but could he be clawing it back, in my opinion? I don't know. These two games against Wolves and Everton are massive. And as well, those two games are massive. But I also think that game at the end of January against Derby is massive as well. If we can beat Derby in the FA Cup, get through to the 5th round of the FA Cup, the morale boosts up again then, I think, with the players and the fans. Even if it's not the top priority, I think it would be, again, a welcome distraction as it was against Brentford. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Sharky, hope you are well, sir. Hope you're keeping well. Lawrence as well. Hope you're well. Kent says Leeds atmosphere was magic. 3-5-2, 5-3-2 for Wolves for me. Yeah, I think we could try and play that sort of formation. We'll get into all of those sort of things very shortly. Back 3 or 5. Are we opposed to that very quickly?
With the right players, Jake. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Kieran.
I think if you had wing backs that had any pace, it would be a great system to play.
Liability.
Yeah. But we don't. You know, you look at Liverpool when they push up Arnold and Robertson, man. Their deliveries are, pinpoint and really works for them. We don't have that, and we don't have any pace to get up that line and get the balls over. And that's why I think you need the personnel to make it work. I'm not sure we've got it.
Yeah, I do agree. Jay says, I'm hoping our form picks up now. Yeah, I think we all do. Take a draw versus Wolves, then finish off Lampard. That would be mildly hilarious. But would you seriously now take 4 points from those two games if it was given to you now?
Yeah, definitely. 4 points. If we get 4 points from these two games, whichever one we draw, whichever one we win, that should just keep us heads above water again, and give us a bit more confidence to go into the next couple of games after that, which are big games as well. Obviously, they're all going to be now, but 4 points is needed.
Yeah,
definitely needed from these two games as minimum in my mind.
Yeah. Evening, Trev Tube. Hope you are keeping well, mate. Thank you very much, Terry. Thank you very much. Yeah, 4 points. I think 4 points is I'd say it's the minimum, but I'd also say if we can win both, amazing. But if we don't get 4 points, Kieran, then I would be disappointed from these two games because their sides around us, and if we're not picking up points against them, we ain't going to go anywhere.
No, this is crucial, isn't it? With teams around us, we've got to. I mean, we came back after 8, but in the first 3 games we've got a point. Now you could say, Arsenal we're never going to do it, but it's not really good enough. 1 point out of them. And now you've got Wolves and Everton at home. They're both struggling. Wolves are struggling to score goals as well. So, we might do a West Ham thing and send them a striker so they can score goals again. But I do, 4 points is the minimum. Now, Moyes, his jacket's hanging on a shaky now, isn't it? And I think a loss today or tomorrow would be, really bad. You know, you've got to get a point up there at least.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
I think we have. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's turn our attentions to our opponents then. That is Wolves, and Sean's going to kick this off by saying Wolves away will be tough. Bad time to play them. Won't be many goals. Draw likely, but I'd make Wolves marginal favourites. Now, one thing I would say is, well, when we went out there last year, I remember it, and they did a complete job on us last year. Beat us 1-0, I think, and they just completely outplayed us when we were in our sort of Premier League prime. I think it was in November, in that sort of October-November period in 2021, and you know, they did a complete job on us, and they are a good side. They are where they are for a reason. Now, they've put in this Julian Lopetegui, which is a good appointment. I think he's a very skillful and a very experienced European manager. I can only see them going up. I think I do sort of agree with Sean that could be a bad time to play them, Mike.
Honestly, mate, I think this is a tough game. I don't think Wolves will go down.
No.
I think Wolves. I watched them against Liverpool, and they were the better team for long periods of that game.
Should have won it in the end.
Yeah, he should have won it. They were robbed. You know, that was never offside, not in a million years. And Salah's probably was offside. You know, and then again, Wolves were the better team and they played well, but Liverpool, I thought, looked pretty poor in midfield. Yeah. They look a real average midfield, and without Van Dijk at the back, who has also been off it as well this year. They don't, for me, I don't see them, you know, pushing the top 2 or 3. I really don't. I think there's teams playing a lot better than Liverpool at the moment. Okay, they can turn it around. We all know that. But so Wolves would be a bit down after losing that on a penalty shootout against Forest last night. So that's one thing for us. You know what I mean? I think, you know, their heads are going to be down a little bit with that. And the fact that basically they should have got the result against Liverpool, you know.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I think one of the main differences, Kieran, between the two sides is you can see the sort of ambition there with the Wolves side. You know, they've gone and they've gave Liverpool a blooming good go, and they should have beat him in the end. I know it was the FA Cup, and I know it wasn't Liverpool's real first starting 11, but they went out there with the mentality to win, and in the end, they should have done. I can see what they're going to do there, and I can see how Lopetegui is going to turn them into a very hard to beat side, and I just hope we can, and Moyes can find a way to break them down. What's your thoughts on Wolves, Kieran?
Yeah, like Mike said, I don't see Wolves going down. I think they'll come good and survive it. They won't rip up any trees, but. Yeah, I see they've got a plan. I think it's hard to judge us now with Moyes because we've sort of all lost a bit of faith in him. You know, when it was good, it was great, and you know, we had a couple of seasons there, really enjoying the games. Now we're not, and then you look at the team performances, even with better players that he's brought in, and they're not there. You know, they're nowhere near there. You're not sure what formation he's playing. I don't think he knows who to play where. He always wants to stick with Souček, and even when he's not playing well, you know, when you get Benrahma in form and starts scoring, you think, oh, at last, Benrahma's coming good, and then he puts him on the bench again, and you go. So I think everyone's just getting a bit fed up with, you know, Moyes' decisions and how he's doing it. So So when you get that way against your manager, then it's hard to see your team going forward, isn't it? And the problem we all think is, I would like a new manager myself now. You know, I've got nothing against Moyes, but it's who is that manager is the bigger question there. Because if I could pick the manager to bring in, I'd get rid of Moyes tomorrow. But I don't have faith in that board getting the right manager in. No. But so we're sort of between a rock and a hard place with this team. But there's lots of players there, and I think again, as Mike said, with him, he could be crucial to surviving relegation. Keeping him fit and on the pitch.
Oh, so, definitely.
Yeah.
In terms of a sort of formation and starting lineup, obviously the same sort of players. We'll just run through things that you want to see in that starting lineup. Then, so certain positions and players that you feel need and deserve a start in your opinion, Mike. Any sort of players when you look at that squad and say, I want him to start on.
I honestly want Emerson to start.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I don't know what he's done wrong, really. You know, he hasn't done a lot wrong. He's not been really poor in any game. Whereas, like Kieran was saying, Kieran had an absolute screaming nightmare. And you know, and he's played 90 minutes in the last game. I felt sorry for him a little bit because he stuck out his left back. I did say, didn't I, Jake? And when we did the preview, I said he could put him in at left back, and everyone thought I was off me trolley. Well, yeah, I'm as bad as David Moyes, and I must be off me trolley, and so is David Moyes. But joking aside, you know, because I'm looking at it, I thought, where's he going to stick Kira? Is he going to stick in left back? But he's not a left back. He is not a left back.
He's not a left back, right back, or a centre half.
Well, he's not really he's not really had a decent game for us, has he? Really, it's been he's been the most I've been the most disappointed with him out of all the signings, to be fair, because I watched him play for Germany, had a really good game, and I thought, "Cool, this lad looks like he can play a bit. You know, he could help us out," but he hadn't really lived up to it at all.
No.
But Emerson, for me, I don't know what he's done wrong. He feels as though he always has to play him as a wing back, but we haven't seen him playing as in a back four.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So we don't know. You know, he could do a job. We just don't know.
I think the thing is that I think the thing with it is that you've got Creswell there. That's, you know, we all know, we've known it for years, and to be fair, he's done well for it to not be too exposed in the past. And in a couple of the sort of Europe games, he's been dodgy and got set up and all that. You know, that's it at the end of it. But you know, it's only really been in the sort of start of this season so far. He's been exposed even more, and the last few games have been yet again another prime example of that. And I don't see what Emerson's you know, got to do to not start. I agree, Mike. And in terms of sort of moving up the pitch, Kieran, I mean, I know we all don't want Souček to start, but who would you like to partner Rice in a midfield, maybe 2 or a 3?
Yeah, I don't know if it's, you know, Paqueta and Rice together is the best thing. I mean, it could be. It could over time. I don't think Paqueta's. I don't think he's anywhere near up to speed yet. I see flashes of brilliance from him, and you think, well, you can see this boy's a player. So I'm starting to think, what is his best position? Is it sticking next to Rice, and then you let him push forward a bit, and Rice actually just defend? You know, because I think that's Rice's best position, a defensive midfielder, and not bombing up forward too much. The only reason I think he sticks with Souček because he gives us that threat in the box. The trouble is, lately, he's not. He's getting in there, but he's not getting on the end of anything. And that could be put down because we're playing a couple of guys on wide who can't cross the ball and put it on his head. Yeah. You know, so
exactly.
This is the problem. If you had players, wingers, who could actually pinpoint across, Souček would be a great threat.
Yeah,
but we don't have it. So
and
whatever formation you put out, it ends up being, you know, 8-1. We seem to retreat into our own half, whatever formation is, that everyone behind the ball, and we're not quick enough on the break anymore. Antonio's not doing it. You know, he's definitely nowhere near the form he was 18 months ago. Nowhere near it. Scamacca, again, to me, I couldn't. I said it at the time. I don't know why we bought him. It doesn't suit Moyes, Scamacca type of player. I don't see how he can work unless you completely change the system you're playing. Because we had Haller there. I'm a big Haller fan. He was a great. I think he's a great striker, and Moyes didn't want it and wouldn't utilise him. Would not change to suit him. And I was glad Haller left for his sake. And now we've got it with Scamacca. I just don't see how that one works. I don't know how you're going to play him, or Moyes is going to play him, unless you put a 3 up there. It's just
another conundrum to add to it, because we've got wingers and fullbacks that can't cross the road. But then again, you know, if they had good delivery, we might see more of a success out of Scamacca. But he's not that sort of player as well with it as well. And there's just so many issues there, and you hope that somehow Moyes is working a miracle and he's managing to hopefully maybe get a midfield 3 of Rice, Downs, Paqueta, Rice, Paqueta, Fornals, maybe a midfield 3 there, and then starting a 3 up top and getting those wingers close to Scamacca and putting good balls into the box, Mike, or doing something to try and, you know, support these players that we've brought in, Mike.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because, like Kieran said, we're such a transition. We're in such a transition at the moment,
Yeah.
going from a team that was counter attacking and getting Souček in the box for flick-ons, for headers, and then we had Lingard breaking from midfield, and Antonio was doing a great job, catching teams on the break. And now we've had to change the way we've played, and it's taken a long time for us to work out what we can do with the players we got. It's like a chess game. We don't know who to put in.
Yeah.
And I think, it's always going to be difficult, but with the players he's got, we should still be doing better than we are. Full stop. Skamaka, I think, needs someone up there alongside him. I really do think that he needs someone that can, give him the ball in and around that area, because you've seen the shot he's got on him, against Brentford, but he didn't get the chance to get into that area where he can use that shot.
Yeah.
Jake, you're so right. Our crossing has been so poor this season.
Yeah.
Honestly, from the fullbacks. I mean, Creswell used to whip a lovely ball in, but I've hardly seen him put 2 decent crosses in all season.
We just we have
It's
just
so
seemed to have
poor.
lost the ability of it whatsoever. We've lost the ability to do that, and I think it's worrying to a side that was probably the most dangerous set piece and crossing side in the league. It's gone to one of the worst because there's just no point.
No, exactly.
But,
Exactly.
hey-ho. Can't change.
It's a difficult one. It's a real conundrum, and whoever we brought in as a manager, I think would struggle a little bit with it, with the players we've got at the moment, because of this transition that we're going through, and it is tough. But we should have bought some more players that suit the way we play. Honestly, we're more of a possession team now. We can get hold of the ball, which is great, but I'd sooner see us catching teams on the break like we were doing.
Yeah.
I'm watching Man City last night. I know I'm going off the bloody down a different road. They're passing the ball all around and getting nowhere.
Yeah.
You got a bloke like Haller in the box, Holland in the box, and you're not giving him any supply. I think, oh God, this is so infuriating. I'm thinking, what? This is just pointless. You're going nowhere with it. I think you've got to be able to mix your football up, play a little bit of passing, knock the long ball, get crosses in, do all different things. And
definitely.
at the moment, we can't do any of those.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it? Just before we go on to some comments, one thing I would like to say, Kieran, you mentioned Haller earlier on, and one thing I would like to say is brilliant news that we've seen him come back into some training in the last week as well, obviously with his ongoing battle with testicular cancer. That's amazing for football himself, and everybody involved in, with hopefully the final stage left of his battle. We wish Sebastian Haller well, and hopefully he's on that final straight now, because that's something that nobody should have to deal with, and let's hope that's nearly done for him, because get well soon, Seb, that's some positive news to come out of that as well, hopefully, if he is on the mend. Let's take some of your comments. And Wolves a 1-0 game. Either way, it's a significant game. It certainly is. Trev Tube, I'd sell Antonio if an adequate replacement company got. I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about that just after we go through these comments then. So get your minds boiling, ready for a Dawson and Antonio to Wolves little chat. Terry says, Wolves too good to go down, decent squad, struggling to score. Same could be said for us as 0-0 written all over, or a 1-0 loss, Terry. But maybe not. Maybe because somebody's not there, the curse might not happen. Who knows? Who knows? I might actually be going to a football game and we won't lose 1-0. Give the under 23 players a go. Skulls is a name that people keep putting out there, and if these sort of players are going to be put on the bench, if if there's an option to come off the bench, I don't know why. I don't see why we shouldn't use them. Good to see Sufel getting back into some form. Sufel has shown some decent commitment all season. Wolves play on Tuesday, so that may help us. Of course, playing on that Tuesday as well. So they've played significantly more football around this sort of period than we have. Maybe that's a good or a bad thing. Yeah, talking about Liverpool, Van Dijk been leggy since match day one, which is mildly hilarious. Trev says, I'd like to see Downs start now, a fighter to help win the midfield battle and take a bit of pressure off of Rice. Doubt Moyes will select him though. I think you're bang on. Sean says, very, very hard to pick 3 teams to go down. Can see improvement in most down the bottom. Yeah. I mean, Bournemouth has got to be a name that's got to be down there. At the moment, we're a name down there. You know, Wolves are there, Everton. It's too close and too early to call for me. Wolves are a good side, but there are only 3 players I would take to improve ours. I tell you what, I was just thinking about that comment and going, if we did have to sell Rice and we get, let's say, £100 million for him, why don't we just go and get Ruben Neves, 25 years old? They want that sort of money for him. I'd take him at West Ham every day of the week. I think he's a class guy. Yeah. If we get that sort of money and want to show some real sort of ambition, I think if we're still in the Premier League and we're doing quite well, then I think that's just a complete no-brainer if we could get him. Manager Mike Hatcher, he knows exactly what we need. Who's at the back, Mike?
Yeah, I'll tell you, joking aside, Dawson, right? Well, I know we're going to go on to it in a minute. I feel sorry for him because we all know that he wanted to leave. He wants to leave and he wants to go back up north to be closer to his family. But I don't think we can get rid of him yet until we've got someone to replace him.
Let's talk about it now then.
He's been brilliant and he almost deserves us to let him go and, do what he wants done. He's done a brilliant job for us. We're missing Zuma big time, yes. But I would just have to sit him down, have a word in his ear, and say, "Look, just hang on for another 6 months if you can, please, mate."
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a baffling situation because we're going to be going.
It's only 4 now, isn't it?
Yeah, going and sort of strengthening a Wolves side. If we give them either Antonio or Dawson or both in the end, it baffles me. And if Antonio's unhappy, then I'm sure we can find a deal that we don't need to sell him to Wolves. At the moment, a relegation rival. It baffles me, Kieran, if I'm honest.
Yeah, mate, it's a dangerous game to play, that, isn't it? Selling players to a relegation rival could make the difference of you being relegated or not, and it'd be quite embarrassing now, wouldn't it, if them 2 helped keep them up and we went down. And they were one of the reasons they stayed up. You'd have that all over your face, wouldn't you? And you've got to look at what Man United did with Lingard that time. They would not sell him to us because we were competing for a Europa League spot with them or a Champions League spot. And they could have got their 15 million off us easily, and took me 15 mil. And they went, no, it's worth more money for us to keep West Ham away from us in the end. And it worked. And they were right to do it. I thought that. They were right not to sell them to us. Now we're in that same situation as much as if you look at a business sense, if we could get money for Antonio now, that would be good business because at the end of the season, that's it. He's not worth nothing. And, and Dawson, you'd like to do whatever's right for Dawson, wouldn't you, as fans?
Yeah. But
again, if it was someone else, but not Wolves, don't do it. But I probably would let Dawson go to Wolves. But I think the one with Antonio, it's just too risky to do it. You could really make yourself look stupid.
Yeah,
so,
you can. The 2 issues: A, selling to a relegation rival; B, any centre backs looking and seeing Traore and Antonio coming up against you, then you try and run away to keep them to Leicester. But overall, Mike, and I think Kieran mentions a really valid point there with the Lingard and Man United where they just refused. Yeah. Can't we have some sort of Nelson's common sense to come into this here and just say
we should
no?
do. I don't know how serious these rumours are, Jake. Do you? We really don't know because a lot of it could be smoke and mirrors. But the Dawson one, we know there's a lot of truth in behind that. I think This has been going on for a while. The Antonio bit, I don't know so much. I'd swap him for Traore.
Would you?
Yeah. There you go. I'll do that.
Wow. Put that in the live chat and comment section. Would you take a Traore and Antonio swap? It's an interesting.
I'd take a swap. I think. I think he'd do us more good at the moment.
Moyes could have another player he can leave on the bench.
But Kieran, we haven't got anyone with any pace out wide.
Exactly. You're right. Like, I've always liked that. I know Traore's a bit like Antonio, isn't he? That end product's not, isn't always there. But God, he burns people, doesn't he?
Yeah, you're right there. But he's a proper wide man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It was only a couple of seasons ago at the London Stadium there, where he came on as sub, didn't he, Traore? And he tore us to pieces. And I put a crossover for Jimenez, and they scored and won the game. And he was the difference, Traore. He just rips Cresswell down the wings and got crossed over.
Yeah, because Mike, I think you saw it with Dad before your very eyes, didn't you, at Wolves away a few years ago? And Traore just ripped Cresswell a new one.
And he tore us a new one that night. I really did. And we're right on that flank where he's going up and down. We know where the way flanks go. We're there right in front of him, and he's greasing himself up, as he's coming on the pitch. And
baby,
what I mean. And he is flipping. He is a big lad.
Yeah,
he really is.
He's lovely.
He just takes people on for fun all the time. He knows he's got the pace to get by people. He's got the strength and the pace. It's just his final ball at times has been a little bit woeful, isn't it? I mean, his end product has not been great for guys with his abilities. He should be scoring more, and he should be having more assists, really. But maybe he needs a new challenge.
Maybe just to sort of interrupt that conversation, just for a bit of comedy. Chelsea are currently being beat 1-0 by Fulham, which is up the Fulham. That's brilliant. So Fulham currently sits 6th in the Premier League, and Chelsea are lurking around the 10th area, which is very, very funny. Up the Fulham, I say, up the Fulham. But let's take some of your views on this then. Trini Hammer says, this whole situation with Dawson is ridiculous. Moyes knew at the beginning of the season he wanted to go. Dawson held out because we had injuries. Why did he not plan ahead? I don't think Dawson would intentionally down tools, but at the back of his mind, it is preservation time. That's not a slight on Dawson. Yeah, and I think as well, if it does push comes to shove, mean that we do get rid of Dawson in this transfer window, and this is one of the last games he plays for West Ham, we've got to show our appreciation for him on Saturday, because what he's done in his 3 years at the club for me have been nothing short of incredible.
Awesome.
He's awesome, Craig Dawson. He has been absolutely incredible, and you all know my views on him. And yes, I will admit that he hasn't quite hit the heights as he did last year, but I think he's been a brilliant player, and he's a player the fans can all get behind, because he's not going to mess about. He's not going to prat about of it. If he's in trouble, he's going to hoof it up. He's a proper old school defender, and he's not Caro who's going to mess around with it. But it is what it is. Traore swap for Antonio. Traore is a sprinter only. He is a shocking goal scorer. See, there's really varied views here. So Dad's saying yes, Terry's saying no, Kent says yes, Trini says no. There's so many different, people's views. It's split, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I'd take it personally, I would, but who knows? Willie Ann scored as well against his former club. Oh, that is brilliant.
Huge. Oh, that's good, mate. Sack Potter. We can grab him then.
Yeah, Kieran, I'll take Potter.
Will we take him? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have Potter. I reckon he'll do well. I think he'll do well with West Ham.
I think he'll get the best out of our players. Yeah. See, Jay saying yes to Traore. It's so split. It really is. I'd like Potter or Mancini, says Ken. I'll tell you what's so funny with that, because we were talking with just winding a Chelsea fan up at school today, saying Willian's going to score a winner today. I hope he does. That would be brilliant. But, we'll have to wait to see in that fact. Right, let's move on to our final thoughts then. Overall, round things up. Before we go into predictions, you guys in the chat, be one step ahead. Put your predictions into the chat and we'll read them out. Goal scorers and all that sort of stuff in between. But final thoughts, anything you'd like to add about the game and your normal Mark Noble dressing room speech? And Mike, I'll start with you.
Oh, it is another one, mate. It's another massive game, and they got to know that, they know we cannot lose this game. If we get a draw, I mean, we keep Wolves down below us, don't we, for a while? And if you continue to draw away from home and pick up wins at home, we get out of it. You know, I know we're not going to win every one at home, but if we won every other one at home, we get out of it. You know, it's another huge game, which, you know, we need 110% out of everyone. Look at Southampton last night. Every man run themselves into the ground.
They were brilliant.
And they just, no fear, just went out and went for it. This is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. We got to get out there and get in their faces and win every half chance, every second ball. And because if we do go out there and we get a goal, their fans are going to be, you know, they're not going to be. We nearly turned them around a few years ago. We was losing 1-0 and Snodgrass had a chance. If he'd have scored that, their fans were just about to turn. Honestly, we was a little bit unlucky that night, but so that's what we need to do.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Just before we come to Kieran's final thoughts, before we move on to the predictions, let's just take some of these comments. Lift the 1-0 curse, Jake. We can then get back to normal if we go to Derby. I'll tell you what, if we go Derby and we lose 1-0, I think it will just be time to call it a day, because then it will be over a year of losing 1-0. Apart from that Southampton game, maybe it's going down the country is where it's at, Terry.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Right then, Kieran, so give us your inspirational speech and final thoughts and everything in between.
Oh, no, I'd go, look, boy, for fuck's sake. Pull your socks up.
Mum's grovelling downstairs, but don't worry.
Got away with that one. What worries me is we cannot lose it. And this is what worries me about Moyes, that he's going to go to this game that he cannot lose. So I can see that, you know, the 9-1-1 formation. And I'm going, and it's really hard to look at that and go, can I see us being expensive there and going for the throat? No, not with more, not a hope. He's going to try and keep it tight to the 88th minute and then try and win it. So I reckon if Noble, even if, I don't know if he'd even allow Noble in the dressing room.
I reckon
it might spoil it for him, you know. But it's a tough. We know we need 4 points from this. Every game's massive now to the end of the season. Every game, but it's that problem that we can't afford to lose, and Moyes can't afford to lose. He knows his job's on the line. Yeah. He knows, you know, he can't keep going at this rate of losing games and nicking a point here and there. I mean, I think it was the Leeds and Brentford game. I think total we had 3 shots on target. Something like that. Now, and that tells you everything, what we're doing here. We are not threatening their goal. Antonio's not threatening their goal enough. Skamaka's not threatening the goal enough, or neither is Bowen. Because if you did, you'd have 8 shots on target, 9 shots on target, whatever. We're not. We're getting 2 in one game, 1 in another. It's not good enough. That's where we're falling down. And to add to that, we're conceding.
Yeah.
We're not getting many clean sheets, are we? So we have to be threatening their goal more. And I want him to play a system that does that. But I have no faith in Moyes that he'll do that. So I think it'll be a low-scoring game. There won't be much in it. And just hope that we're the ones that nick it 1-0.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Just before we go into predictions, Terry says 0-0 dull game, nightmare traffic, monsoon, light rain, shocking parking spot. Terry, jealousy is a bad thing, my friend. Jealousy is a bad thing. I mean, nobody else is going to get this, but I do hope you have a fantastic day tomorrow, Terry. I hope it all goes to plan, and I hope they get the right gender right. But, right, predictions. That's enough of that nonsense. Predictions. I'm going to go first, so nobody takes the obvious. I don't often do this, but I'm going to go for the obvious 1-0 West Ham, so you two have got to go for something different, sorry. 1-0 West Ham, Jared Bowen to score from outside of the box. They scored against us at Molineux outside of the box last year. It's right in line with it, and we're going to do it. Bowen, outside of the box, bang, into that bottom corner. Limbs in the away end, that's about 300 million metres long. And then we win, hopefully. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
All at once.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. My famous
You've got a
1-1
hard job
draw.
now, Kieran.
And
Kieran, you've got a hard job now.
Yeah.
I think Bowen's going to score at last.
Hope so. Just gives him some confidence. You can't predict a loss, Kieran. I'm not having that.
What?
I'm not letting you predict a loss.
Nah. Did I predict that last time?
Dunno.
If I did, I was right. But I'm sure I was right because I think I'm a bit like Mike. I think I fancy a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
But our goal will be scored by Dawson. He's going to rise up. He's going to nail his move to ball. So he's going to show them what they're missing, and he's going to come up on the corner.
He's going to job interview.
Smashing him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think he'll miss a sitter in the last minute, and then they won't want to sign him anyway.
Yeah. He'll be about 2 yards out, and he'll miss the ball and fall over.
Yeah. Well, forget that one.
Yeah.
We'll just go with Dawson, right?
Yeah.
But,
right then, let's fire through your predictions. Then, if you've got any late prediction entries, we'll lob them in now, and we will get through them. Right, where should we start? 1-1, 2-1. West Ham, Paqueta and Scamacca have scored goals. 1-1. Traore's made 175 Premier League appearances. Has scored 9 goals.
Yeah, I know. It's boring, isn't
prolific.
Yeah, that's like West Ham's version of prolific. That is 1-1 to Bowling. 2-0 West Ham win. Braced for Scamacca. 2-1 to the Irons. I don't like to say it, but 1-0 Wolves, says Jay. 1-0 West Ham. I'm hoping that is very, very funny. Yeah, but Gary's got one of their fancy sat navs in the car, so there's no way we're getting lost. Need a strong mobile team for Wolves. Yeah. You know, they're a big side. They got some big centre halves in there. Maybe we need that sort of side to come out. I think Potter was good because of Brighton's algorithm and system. I 100% agree. 2-0 West Ham, Rice and Bowen, both due a goal. Scrappy 1-0 to us. Terry's having his favourite feeling in the world, which is West Ham-itis coming through. Well, at least you can suffer your West Ham-itis from your living room, Terry, not from block JL3. Hey? Got to shoot. If you don't shoot, you don't score. We've got to be bold with these things. Don't try and walk it in because that infuriates me. Let's have a look here. Peter says, win next 2 or switch off the lights and hello championship. Whoever is manager would struggle with 13 defeats and the fixtures left. Love the positivity, Peter. But yeah, you're not far wrong, mate. 1-0 Rice, the goal scorer. Would you have This is interesting. Would you have Rice taking corners? Now we all were a bit like, okay, but you took a good corner, and the rest of them can't. People have slated it, but I don't mind it.
Yeah. No, let's face it. I mean, Creswell's delivery has been absolutely useless, and I wouldn't have him in the team anyway. Fornell's, he probably won't pick him, but I would have him in the team. His deliveries haven't been brilliant, and Ben Rama's crosses have been poor. Bowen's haven't been great. Yeah, maybe try someone else.
Yeah,
Paqueta?
who knows? Yeah, I think we've got to try something else because we just keep doing the same thing, and then it's not going to change, is it? You know?
No.
Yeah, so, I think we should try Fabianski taking them. See what happens there.
I like it.
See what he's like getting back to his goal.
It take about 10 minutes to get
Perhaps
back.
Dawson should take it and then run in the middle and head it in.
But Rice, when he did take that corner, it looked like a really good corner, but a rip on it. So, I don't care who takes it if it's a good corner instead of wasting them.
Well, exactly. Beat the first man. Full stop.
Beat the first man. But there we go. That's our match preview. I'll be up there on Saturday up at Wolves if you see me.
Have a good day, mate.
say hello. Thank you very much. We'll have hopefully we'll have a good day. So there will be, of course, no match build up for the show. There'll be a road trip with me and Gary. The famous road trip will return to the channel, so you will see that as you wake up on Saturday morning. And then we'll have some other match day content and the day after as well coming your way, hopefully talking about a West Ham win. We'll have a transfer video coming to you tomorrow, because I know everybody loves a bit of transfers. But until next time, thank you very much indeed, everybody in the chat. Anybody who's going up, hopefully I'll see you there. Kent, I'm sure I'll see you in the Asda. Mike, Kieran, thank you very much indeed for joining me. And Kieran, thank you very much for coming on at such an ungodly hour.
That's all right, mate. We rise early here normally, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. Mike, thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, mate. Have a good day, mate. Yeah, make sure you get some service in Asda.
Yeah. There will be no shutters going down there, because I will not be having it. The shutters won't be shutting. I'm getting food whether she likes it or not. Right then, we'll leave it there. From us, come on, you Irons, and we'll catch you soon right here at West Ham Official. And see you soon. Bye bye.
See ya.
Guys, bye.